Hello everyone, this is part 1 of What If Naruto Was Neglected and Was a Genius with Swords, and this video is made by Bastion Lightz, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
It was a quiet day in the village hidden in the leaves. No wait, never mind. When you take another look at it, you'll see that it's not so quiet at all. A vicious beast is tearing up the forest before the town, as it heads towards it. Ninjas have gathered from the cafeteria of Konoha to stop it, only to gasp in fear to what they saw. Before them stood a red-orange fox glaring down at the small humans. It had glowing red eyes with a black slitted iris in the middle. Its sharp claws looked to be able to slash through even diamonds, and behind it were 9 lashing tails. Each of them swinged wildly, but almost in sync with another, for none of them collided with the other. So this is the Kyuubi no Yoko, one of the ninjas said, as he gaped in fear while his nakama jumped into battle against the large demon. Some threw kunai, others shot shuriken, the rest unleashed their arsenal of ninjutsus at it, but alas, all efforts of attacking failed. Minutes later, maybe even less, and the fox was still proceeding towards the village, as what some could feel as earthquakes could be felt as it approached. More ninjas came by to fight, this time as nothing but a stall. But it didn't take long for Yoko to dispose of them as well. It all seemed hopeless, until another shock that quaked the earth could be felt in front of it. Before Kyuubi stood a large red toad, wearing a blue kimono and a dagger by its side. On top of it stood a figure, a man wearing a fire flower pattern cape with a jonin vest underneath. He had golden yellow hair on top of his head, and the bluest cerulean eyes you could see. In his hands you couldn't tell from afar, but to the man and the fox, and of course the toad, you could tell it was a tiny little infant, wrapped in a cloak. The large toad jumped forward to latch onto the fox, who swiped its claw down and scarred its left eye. But it didn't stop, and grabbed the fox, doing its best to not let go. "Get off of me. This has nothing to do with you mortals," the fox bellowed, trying all its might to get free. Of course it knew it couldn't die, so why would they try to stop him? "I'm sorry, but I can't allow you to kill any more people. You must be stopped. Shiki Fujin," the man on top of the frog yelled, as a blinding light could be seen blocking the rest of what could be seen. 9 years later, after the battle, the yellow spiky-haired guy, known as the Yondaime Hokage, was able to defeat the fox at the cost of his own life. But the truth is, this was a lie. This was what the kids today were told. The real thing that happened was this. During the climax of the fight, Yondaime used an S-class jutsu he made for this situation and summoned what everyone calls the god of death, Shinigami. The process of this jutsu makes it so the user can use the power of the Shinigami to remove the soul of a being, whether it be human or demon, and seal it inside something. Obviously he couldn't do it in him. With the fox being stronger than all other demons, it wouldn't have died along with him. And sealing it inside an object would only be even more foolish. It would just break out. So giving as much thought as possible, he sealed it inside a tiny little infant who was just a few minutes old, and performed other complex seals in order to keep it there and not kill him. Why he chose this kid and not some other child who was still a baby is unknown, but only one person knew the truth and wouldn't speak it. After the incident, and the body of the fox dispersed into dust and scattered into the winds, the last Hokage that governed the village took over his place, a guy past his Osen years but was still ready and able to take over. After he told the people of the truth, they turned furious and attacked the baby, thinking the Yondaime weakened the fox into the form of a helpless infant. After trying to reassure them and failed, Sandaime Hokage Sarutobi had no choice but to create a law, forcing anyone who spoke of what really happened to the fox behind his back would suffer the death penalty. It was in hopes to protect the boy, named Uzumaki Naruto, from having to live a life of becoming mentally disturbed, emo, vengeful, and evil, but alas, that didn't stop people from torturing him so that he would want to die. After turning 9, he was kicked out of the nursery that took care of him and was forced to live alone. With no place to go, and nowhere to live, Sandaime tried multiple times to give him a home of his own, but no one would take him in though. So here we find Naruto, down on his luck, leaving the Konoha Academy for growing ninjas from another unsuccessful day of learning. For some reason he didn't end up all evil and bloodthirsty. Instead he just remained distant, as if solitude was his only faithful friend. The boy kept moving towards the forest, thinking he can get a new home there, unknown to someone watching and following. Inside the forest. I'm real hungry. I don't think I can take any more searching, he complained, searching through the woods for a suitable tree to make into his own home. But due to fatigue maybe he fell down a hill and slid into a puddle of muddy water. Man, maybe I should turn around and try sleeping in the school. It worked last time, he said, pulling himself up from a vine attached to a tree and wiping the mud off. But that's when he heard a rustling nearby. Getting into a taijutsu stance he learned at the academy, he checked his surroundings. It didn't take long for him to be hounded by wolves. Naruto checked them out, 4 of them, a bit scrawny, grey on the top, drool leaking off the teeth and fangs, bloodshot eyes looking straight at him, and they looked hungry. I'm gonna die, he cried, a stream of anime tears falling from his face. That's when they pounced, attacking him left to right, biting hard on his arms and legs. He broke free though and had to run, sprinting as far as he could towards a well-lit place, or better yet the village. But with his injuries no worse than the ones he get from back in the village almost daily, he didn't run as far as he could have hoped from the wolves. In fact, he was losing enough blood to crumple him to the ground. Of course he's always healed in worse situations, but then again that's when no one's striking him anymore. These wolves would tear him up till there was nothing left. But then he felt something inside of him, as if some surge of energy erupted from him. This said energy was enough to keep him up a bit, and gave him a bloodthirsty characteristic. As the group of Okami came at him he stood his ground, on all 4s. As one came at him he grabbed its mouth and ripped off its bottom jaw, as blood squirted onto his body. The second one came straight for him, but he swung the one he had at it, taking out an eye. The third and fourth snuck up behind him, then pounced. Naruto turned to face them and grabbed them by the necks, crushing their necks. As he let go the bodies lied limp on the floor. He too passed out in bloody wounds and exhaustion. Hours later, Naruto woke up, seeing that he was still alive again. Well, he was used to it anyway. But he looked to his side and saw a beautiful sight. A beautiful girl was rubbing ointment on his wounds. She had the graceful face of a lovely angel, brown hair done up in the shape of meatballs, chocolate eyes that looked just delicious enough to eat, and the body of a goddess, wrapped in a pink shirt and dark green pants. Naruto shook himself out of his stupor to focus on the subject at hand. Oi, Eni-chan, what are you doing? The girl looked up at him, and gave a weak smile. Oh, I'm just giving you some ointment. It's mandatory if you need to. No, he interrupted, stopping her from talking anymore. I meant, why are you helping me? I can look at you right now and tell you're from Konoha. I don't want someone to get hurt because of me. Don't be a fool, she said, still rubbing his wounds. He rose up to stop her, but was halted when she slapped him. Sure, he's felt worse than a slap before, but for some reason, this one hit knocked the fight out of him. I've been watching you for some time, and seen how everyone else has treated you. I don't want that. I don't know why they hate you, but I know that you don't deserve it. While she talked, he was quietly listening and blinking in disbelief. She seemed to have tears coming down her face freely. It was like she understood his pain completely and only saw a frightened little child who just got screwed over by people who don't even know him. But he had to make sure she wasn't like the rest of them, and would betray him later. If you truly think that way, is there a way for you to help me? Yes, I was thinking you could live with me. She spoke in a soft yet strong voice. The moment she said that, his eyes lit up bright, and he made a smile. It wasn't one of those fake smiles he puts on as a front back in the school, it truly was the real freaking deal. Arigato, Eni-chan. I would love to stay with you. Don't call me Eni-chan. I feel so much older. My name is Amon Tenten, she said, holding her hand out to him. Thanks. You probably know me, but in case not, Uzumaki Naruto. He replied, shaking her hand back. It was only one day after the incident concerning Naruto and Tenten. The blonde-haired boy was walking through the streets of the village, heading over to a weapons store to look for a weapon. I hope Tenten gets a yes. I really don't wish to go back in darkness, he said to himself as he entered in. He walked inside, only to see Tenten there, almost as if she was waiting for him. Oh, Naruto-kun, you here for a weapon? She asked, almost not noticing the weird look on his face. Anno, why are you here? Oh, my family owns a weapon shop. I guess I forgot to tell you. she said, giggling in embarrassment. Naruto could feel sweat falling down his face. So, what did he say about me staying with you? Tenten stopped her giggling, then thought back to what happened. Flashback no jutsu. But Tusan, why can't he stay here? Asked a very mad, yet crying Tenten as she approached her father with the request. He only shook his head no, then looked upon her with seriousness. I will not allow that boy to stay with us. I could care less about this boy's living condition, but as I know, it is not my problem. But if he doesn't stay in a good decent place he'll die. Why are you treating him like some sort of monster? She yelled at him, running out the room for her own personal quarters. The man only sighed at his daughter's supposed foolishness. She doesn't realize that he is a demon. What was that just now? A voice spoke out. He looked to the side and spotted his wife walking towards him, sitting down in a seat beside him. My, now's not the time. Our daughter just wished for a certain demon to live with us. It's that Uzumaki kid, isn't it? Well, why not? She questioned, forcing a gaping look upon his face. You're serious? Do you know what that kid is? Sure I do, Aoshi. His name is Uzumaki Naruto, the vessel of the demon fox that attacked our village the same day he was born. I think I know what the kid is. She yelled at him. Aoshi clasped a hand over her mouth, forcing a sheesh from his lips. I may not know about the seal Yondaime placed on him, but I do know that that boy must be controlled by him. Besides, if you know full well about what Sandaime said, then you should know about the law he placed upon the same day. Aoshi said back, as she bit his hand, forcing a scream from his lips. Of course. Hokage-sama declared that anyone to speak of the truth behind the attack besides himself and the boy, then that person is to be sentenced to death. But there's no way the Anbu would hear us from here. I doubt even Ten-chan could hear us. By the way, where is she? Mai said, looking around for her. But she was wrong, for Tenten did hear everything they said. Her eyes were shut out as she had her head pressed against the closed door of her room. He traps a demon inside of him. Is that why he was being treated so badly? Oh Naruto, you don't deserve this, she thought, as tears fell freely from her face. That's when she decided to take action, and swung her door room then ran downstairs to face her parents. Oh, Tenten, is something wrong? Asked Aoshi, but didn't say any more when he saw the look on her face. You think Naruto-kun's a monster because he has one inside of him? Both of them paled when they heard from her, figuring out that she was eavesdropping, or they were too loud. Tenten, I can explain. Save it, father, she interrupted, shocking him back into his seat. This is a bit different from her usual tomboyish attitude. He thought. He is not a demon. He is Uzumaki Naruto, of the Hidden Leaf Village, and you of all people should be ashamed of yourself, when you know damn well that he is only a jail and not the prisoner inside it. And if you can't accept him for being human, then I'll disown myself and go live with him. She finished, leaving them both struck. Her father was about to fight back, but her mother stepped in. Mai, what are you? He can stay. Go look for him tomorrow and we'll set up a room for him. She said with a smile. Tenten made a happy look on her face, then hugged her mother fiercely. She then went to her room to prepare for meeting with him. Aoshi looked at her. Mai, what the hell? Oh, come on, Aoshi-kun. This Naruto boy is a nice boy, and he'll stay that way with Tenten there for him. Besides, I've never seen her take an interest in a boy besides that Hyuga child, and I would like for her to be with someone else. So let it be, she said, giving him the puppy eyes no jutsu. Unable to fight against it, he gave up and agreed with her. Fine, but you gotta make it up to me later on tonight. End flashback. Tenten kinda sweat dropped thinking about this, then looked at him. He said yes. So today you can live with me, and we can practice with weapons and stuff, you know. By the way, which one are you looking for? Oh, I'm seeking out a heavy weapon. One that will help me to wield smaller, even faster ones later. Something like a flamberge-type sword, or a scythe. He said, searching the inventory. She looks into the back, then comes out with a double-bladed scythe. She hands it to him, as he paid for it. All thanks. Could you help me to use it later? He asked, as she gave a nod. How about now? I'm sure the shop will stay closed until I return. On top of the shop. Tenten and Naruto were staring at each other on top of the weapons shop, him holding the scythe he just bought, and her with 2 katanas. You ready? Just know that I'm an expert on weaponry. Don't worry. I'm quick on my feet. And with that, they charged. 3 years later, Naruto, and many other ninjas, were waiting inside the academy, waiting for their teams to be called. The past 3 years have changed his appearance greatly, no more wearing the orange-cladded jumpsuit, but a blue and red vest with a pair of red and blue pants. He now wore his headband over his forehead after gaining it yesterday. Uzumaki Naruto, Haruno Sakura, Uchiha Sasuke, you shall be on Team 7, your sensei will be Hatake Kakashi, said the teacher, Umino Iruka. Naruto dropped his face onto the counter in front of him, after hearing Sakura and Sasuke would be on his team. Oh why? It's not like I hate them. It's just that Sasuke would rather leave us for dead than help us, and Sakura would only try to help out Sasuke than even look at me. You know, I kinda do hate them. Hey, Iruka-san, why do I have to be on the same team as those two? Wouldn't I be better off with another team, like people who actually like me? Complained Naruto, drawing attention from the entire class. Sasuke only grunted something rude, while Sakura ignored him entirely. Naruto, these teams are basically made to balance out everyone, putting the weakest with the strongest and the smartest. Sasuke surpassed the expectations of both field scores and test scores. Sakura was the best in test scores. You on the other hand barely passed, getting the lowest in them all in both. He said, forcing him to grit his teeth in anger, as the entire class begins to laugh at him. Wait, field test I surpassed in. And besides, stuff like test scores are useless when he got someone's kunai in your chest. Besides, I'm only second to him. He said, pointing to Sasuke. Can you at least reconsider me with Susuke? Naruto pleaded, as he only received a no, forcing him to slump back in his seat. Alright, now that he's done, wait here for your teams after lunch. Iruka added, as the others all gave a hi, and were dismissed. Naruto walked towards the school forest, as he silently ate his lunch. Hey, Tenten, you here for me? Said girl came from the shadows and approached him. You're pretty good at tracking people, or just me. So who's on your team? She said, asking at that last part. Oh, I got the Susuke of the class, and Sakura. Oh, you mean that Uchiha and that girl you have a crush on? She said, flinching slightly at when she said crush, thinking nothing but hate for the kunoiki on his team. But what's a Susuke? She asked. Oh, that's the name of a character in Bleach. It's a cool manga from Shonen Jump by someone named Tite Kubo. Aizen Susuke is someone who tried to plunge Soul Society into chaos and betrayed his own teammates and friends for power, save for two who went traitor and joined him, Ikimaru Jin and Kaname Tuzan. They stole something that would fuse demons with the power of death gods and become immensely powerful and destroy the Soul Society. He said, explaining to her the plot to Bleach. She then smiles, understanding what he said. So, what do you think about this Sakutra person? Well, I don't have a crush on her anymore. I used to, but I got rid of them for someone else. He said, forcing a smile on Tenten's face. Oh well, let's go inside. We can wait for your team there. The two enter into the academy, as Naruto and Tenten sit in seats. I think they'll be back anytime soon. I'll take a nap. It's nice to have a good friend like you. He said, falling asleep. She blushes slightly, as a thought crossed her mind. She lifted up his head, then planted a kiss on his lips, leaving Naruto to enjoy it as he snoozed, though he was oblivious to what it was. Friend, maybe I should tell you I feel more for you, she said, leaving the room. As she was about to, she ran into a certain obstacle, Sakura. Tenten had just laid Naruto down in his seat, making her way over to leave, when she was stopped by Sakura. Hello, weren't you a graduate from our last class? Asked the pink-haired kunoiki. Yes, and you must be the girl Naruto-kun had a crush on. It's stupid to see a ninja with as much focus and potential as him lose his concentration because of a smart fangirl with no technique. She said, which stung a piece of rage in Sakura. What? I'm not just some fangirl. And who the hell are you to talk down on me like that? Sakura yelled back. I am one of the few kunoiki in this village who actually thinks about her abilities and not her hair or looks. I am just as qualified to being greater than Tsunade than you. She yelled back, and began to leave again. What's she doing here? She thought, then took a look at the sleeping form of Naruto, and something came to mind. Don't tell me she likes that idiot. She asked no one, sitting down in a seat. A few minutes later Sasuke came in, taking notice to the still sleeping Naruto and a Sakura who didn't yell out his name as soon as he came in. Recognizing a threat, Naruto immediately woke up, but frowned only to see his most hated rival. As fast as he rose up, he went back to sleep, only to be woken up an hour later by the door opening. In stepped a silver-haired Jonin in the usual Jonin rags. He had his hiatai over his left eye for some reason, and a mask on that covered all but his right eye. Yo, you must be my team. He spoke. You're late, yelled a seriously bored and pissed out Kunoichi. He ignored her and looked around. A girl, an Uchiha, and a deadlist with a death scythe. Not too bad. Let's find out more about them. Okay, meet me upstairs on the roof, and we'll get to know each other a little better. He said, and flashed away. The others grunted as they headed up to follow him. On the roof they found him sitting at the edge. As they sat down, Naruto sat down next to Sasuke, who was blocking Sakura from him. Okay, I would like for you each to tell me about yourself. Your name, your likes, your dislikes, your hobbies, and your goals for the future. Stated the silver-permed Cyclops. Sakura perked her eyebrows. I don't get it. Would you care to show an example, like tell us some things about you? She suggested, as Sasuke got what she was aiming for, getting him to talk about himself. Naruto was just snoozing. Well, let's see. My name is Hatake Kakashi. I like many things. I dislike a lot of things as well. I have many hobbies, and well, I don't think I have a goal. He said in a lazy voice. That was a waste. All we learned was his name. Sakura thought, face faltering. He then looked at her. Okay, you in the pink hair, go. My name is Haruno Sakura. My hobbies are, she looks at Sasuke and giggles. My likes are, she looks at him again, and blushes and giggles. And my goal is, well, you get the picture. Okay, was what Kakashi was thinking, but in his mind he was sighing in disappointment. Damn, they sent me a fangirl. And what are your dislikes? She made a serious face this time. Naruto, and his Chinese bitch of a girlfriend. She yelled, waking Naruto up again. Udintia tempura with Zanbonton-chan. He blurted out as he woke up, causing some stares towards him to be made. He blushed back into his seat. Okay, your turn, Broody. He said, looking over at Sasuke. He didn't move or anything, just looked at him with the corner of his right eye, and stared at nothing. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. I rarely like anything. I hate more things than an Iwa hates a Konoha. I only train as my hobby. My goal, no, my ambition in life, is to restore my clan, and kill a certain person. Everyone looked at him, each with a different thought. Oh great, an Avenger, Kakashi thought, sighing again. Sasuke is so hot. Sakura brought into her mind. I wonder if Ten-chan likes tempura chicken. Guess who said this? Okay, you in the blonde hair. Said the Jonin, pointing over to Naruto. Well, let's see. What about me? Oh, my name is Uzumaki Naruto. I enjoy the finer things in life, like my best and sort of only friend Ten-chan. I also like ramen, shonen jump, and tempura. I really hate people who hate me for what they think I am and not for what I really am. I also hate anyone who tries to hurt Ten-chan, the time it takes to receive jump from subscription, and the being behind my suffering. I take pride in training and helping people regardless of how they react, knowing it was me. My goal in life is to become an even greater shinobi than Yondaime Hokage. The others looked at him, seeing that he was only one of them that gave a normal speech. Sakura sniffed the air in a laugh, after hearing him say that last line. Sasuke didn't even say anything, just looked into nothing. Kakashi smiled, well his eye did, then something came to his mind. So he knows about the Kyuubi. Let's hope he doesn't find out about his family the wrong way. But who is this Ten-chan, I suppose? Alright, I guess you guys are ready for being ninjas. Although I am supposed to give you a test, I don't see it necessary, at least for you three. Already I can tell enough from each and every one of you. They each stared at him, a bit confused about what he meant by that. What do you mean, sensei? Asked Sakura, of course. It means that if I were to give you a test, you would fail it in less than 3 hours. He said, rising up. I think that would be spoken true once we take the exam. Naruto spoke up suddenly, grasping the Jonin's attention. He reminds me so much of Arashi-sensei. I hope he is in any way like him. He thought. Okay, fine. I will give you the test, meet me at training area 7. I assume you know where it is. He told them, and they all nodded. Good. Be there at 9:20 a.m., and try not to eat. You would throw up. He vanishes, leaving the others to do what they do best, prepare, sort of. 8:00 a.m. Sakura was waiting at the area where their sensei had spoken of. She just sat there, waiting. 9:00 a.m. Sasuke had just made it there, and sees a tired Sakura half awake. 9:30 a.m. Naruto had made it there, looking around to see a pink-haired Kunoichi sleeping, and a broody Uchiha sleeping as well. He just sat there, reading his Shonen Jump. 30 minutes later, Naruto was still awake, reading Shonen Jump still. I wish I had a Bankai. That would be so cool. He exclaimed, waking his friends up. Why the hell did you do that for? I was having a very nice nap about someone. Sakura yelled. That's when Kakashi came in. Yo. And you're late again. She shouted again, turning her anger over to her sensei. Sorry I'm late. I was stuck on the road to life. Anyway, here's your test. He holds up 2 bells. Your mission for this test is for each of you to get one of these bells. Those who don't will get tied to a tree while the others get to eat in front of him, her. Everyone bowed their heads in stupidity, except Naruto, having the same thought, so that's why he said not to eat. He was trying to psych us out. Sakura then thought of something. Hey wait, there are only 2 bells. What will happen to the one who isn't able to get one? Kakashi smiled his eye, then opens it to stare at them. The one who doesn't get it will fail. Said person will be sent back to the academy and will have to wait another year to pass. Now, with all that said and done, Ike, he said, as everyone vanished. Half an hour later, Kakashi was reading his book, not having a care in the world, just waiting for them to make a mistake. I wonder if any of them will get bored of this and come after me. He then looks in front of him, seeing a blonde ninja in front of him. He stared at his sensei, with a mischievous look on his face. Hey there. Look, I was thinking if you could fight me. It'll be a lot better than reading. His teammates in the bushes all had the thought of him being an idiot for even requesting a fight. Kakashi just ignored him, flipping a page in his book. Now you see, this action kinda pissed him off, for he threw a punch to his face, but only hit air. He looked around him, but didn't see anything, then something poked him in the butt, and sent him flying into the river. Sasuke was still watching him, trying to get an opening, but still he couldn't. Maybe next time you'll think of something smart. Kakashi told him, sitting on a rock. Then the lake started to erupt, as multiple Narutos jumped out of the water, about 5, and got right in front of him. Clones. The Dobe couldn't even do 1 Bunshin. When did he learn how to do 5? Sasuke asked himself in his mind. Kakashi raised his eye and looked at the Narutos. So, you learned the Kijibunshin no Jutsu, am I right? Because you couldn't learn how to use Bunshin because of your terrible chakra control. Yeah, so what about it? You probably don't even know why I have terrible control, so stay out of my life. Naruto, one of them, said, as they all ran for him. Kakashi sighed, rising up to beat him down, when. What the? He exclaimed, seeing another Naruto behind him, holding him in place. As the others ran for him, that Naruto began to try and remove a bell, and succeeded. Then the strangest thing happened. When one of the Narutos tried to punch Kakashi, it actually hit a Naruto instead. As they both fell to the floor, the punching Naruto stared at him. What the? Did he use substitution or transformation? He asked, and all the Narutos started arguing, trying to depict which one was him. Deciding to end this once and for all, Naruto pulled out his scythe, and decapitated all of them. As they each puffed out of existence, none of them remained, leading him to believe he used a substitute. Damn. Ha. He noticed 2 gleams on the ground, and after further insight, he sees the 2 bells. One of my clones must have dropped it. But why would there be 2 of them? He ponders, and moves further back, pulling out his scythe. He then rakes the area around them, and sees a rope hidden within. He then cuts the ropes, picks up the bells with his scythe's blade, and places one in his pocket. As he was about to join his team, he gets flung into the air, dropping his weapon and bell, hanging onto a tree from a rope on his leg. What the hell? He saw through it, he complained, and sees Kakashi walking over to pick up the bell. After taking it he looks up at him. Naruto, you really have grown in the 3 years since I last saw you. If you had only gotten help from the others, then you might have passed along with them. He said, but is unaware to the flurry of shuriken and kunai that was heading his way. Using this situation at his best, Naruto pulls out a kunai of his own, cuts himself down, and grabs the bell before the metal objects blasted him. But as they did, the body turned into a log. Naruto didn't care, so he grabbed his scythe, and rushed to meet up with the others. Sakura saw the weapons that attacked her sensei, and knew who did it. She ran to where they first met up this morning. Why would Sasuke do something like that? We need him as our sensei, she thought. Sasuke saw how his attack failed, and began to run. He headed towards the memorial compound where they met up first at. Naruto was there as well, waiting for the others to come, which they did. Hey guys. Well, here are the bells, he said, throwing them the items they sought after the entire day. Sasuke grabbed them, looking at Sakura and Naruto. So wait, you're giving us the bells. What about you, don't you wanna pass? He asked, a bit confused. Naruto shook his head. If I wanted to pass, I would want it to be with someone who doesn't wish to put themselves before others. In the ninja world, those who don't follow the rules are dirt. But those who leave their comrades behind are lower than dirt, hell lower as a matter of fact. Besides, a Hokage must sometimes be able to give up the thing we want the most in order to help others. He said, sitting down and waiting for time to run out. But unknown to him, someone was watching, two someones actually. The first was obviously their sensei, smiling in admiration to the deadlist being the only one of them to be mature enough to figure it out, and the second one who was hiding from them all was watching from an even greater distance, watching the team, or more importantly the only one of them with a large weapon. Kakashi appeared before his students, 3 minutes before time was up. Okay, you all have the bells. But before I pass anyone, if you could have two of you pass, which of you would it have been? He pointed to Sasuke, inciting that he should answer first. I don't care. If you ask me, the only one of us who actually did anything was Naruto and I, so I nominate us, said the broody Uchiha. Sakura fell to the ground, almost in tears. The Jonin sighed, seeing as how he made such a good choice, then turns to Naruto. Naruto, what about you? If you ask me, I don't wish to pass. If one of us don't pass, then neither us do. I see all of us as equals, not just stepping stones for one another. If one of us has to stay behind though, it should be the one who can easily pass again, so I wish for Sasuke and Sakura. He states, about to walk away. Kakashi turns over to Sakura, hoping she would make an answer. Well, now Sakura, who would you choose? She looks at both Naruto and Sasuke, and she can't seem to decide. She knows that Naruto has better experience somehow, and Sasuke needs to pass for his own reasons. Naruto even volunteered to stay behind, so she did what her stupid hormones would want, Sasuke and myself. Sasuke shook his head in disapproval, she would be the last person he would want to be partnered with. Naruto was the only other who wished to actually take things seriously. Kakashi sighed as well. You would have passed this secret test as well, if you had chosen Naruto and yourself, or even Naruto and Sasuke. I guess your stupid crush on Sasuke held you down. Alright, the verdict is, the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Naruto was still walking, as if he didn't care. You all pass. Everyone fell down at the sound of him saying that, even Naruto. They each raised themselves up. Wait, what? We passed. But how? Asked Sakura, still trying to rise up. Simple. This exercise was to teach each of you the value of teamwork. I only brought 2 bells so one of you could give up your place for the loser, and understand the importance of working together. Naruto did, which is why he gave up his place for you too. He said, looking at Naruto. He seemed to be the only one of you worthy of passing on. He turns his gaze over to Sasuke. Sasuke, you feel as though only people who seem strong to you deserve to move on. If Naruto would have failed in his attempts to retrieve the bells, then you would have probably chosen to pass on yourself. His next look was on Sakura. Sakura, you seem to be the least potential of them all. Although you have the greatest academic scores, you also have no abilities to call upon, and you're always too distracted by your silly crush on the number 1 rookie. I won't make any gestures, but I will leave. He then sighs again, making an eye smile again. As of right now, Squad 7 will be ready and able to become full-fledged shinobi. Tomorrow will be the start of your missions, he said, giving a thumbs up. He then disappeared in a cloud of smoke, as Sasuke smirked, and walked off before Sakura could ask him out on a date. Then Sakura left, leaving Naruto to think of what to do now. Oh well, they did forget about the food, so might as well chow down. He walks over to the free food they left behind. And as he was about to eat, a cloud of smoke appeared in front of him. Oh, hey there Ten-chan. How's it going? He asked, as the smoke went away to reveal the weapon mistress of Konoha. Oh hi. Naru-kun, you passed I see. He nodded his head. Of course. You were watching the entire time, savvy. She chuckled a bit, bopping her head with his fist playfully. You always know where I am, don't you? Well, it's the same for you. I bet you could spot me from a crowd of people with me wearing a mask and hood. He said, smiling as she sat next to him. We've been friends for 3 years. I don't need to see your stupid face to know it's you. She said, eating the food next to him. That's what I was gonna say. Anyway, let's eat. And they chow down, unaware of the looks he was getting from a silver-haired ninja watching with his back facing them. I bet those two don't realize it yet, but they are definitely in love with each other. I miss you so much, Rin. He thought, leaving as they ate. The next week, Team 7 had been spending the entire week working D-ranked missions. From pulling weeds to catching cats, they have had to do stuff a normal kid would deem chores, and the Genins had just about enough. They had just been sent to the Hokage office for another mission. Okay, now is time for your newest missy, the Sandime began but was stopped by a very loud noise. Hey Ajijin, when the hell are we gonna do something better? We're all sick of doing kiddie crap. The others had the same idea, but wasn't brave enough to ask, or call the Hokage an old man. Iruka was about to yell at him for being rude, but Sarutobi stopped him. Okay, fine. We have an easy C-ranked mission no one has been able to take. Please come in, he said, as the doors flew wide open, to reveal an old man with a bottle of sake. You will be escorting a Mr. Tazuna over to Kirigakure to help as bodyguards as he build a bridge, said the Hokage, as the team went over to the old man. Let's see, a broody goth, some pretty girl, a cyclops, and an idiot-looking blonde. Not what I wanted, but you'll have to do, he said, getting ready to leave. The others sighed, thinking this would be a long trip. Gates of Konoha. The team went over to the eastern gates of Konoha, and was ready to leave. As they walked out, Naruto was the first to notice someone watching him, or more or less, him. He could tell who it was without even looking, and continued with his group. Said figure threw a kunai right on the pole she was standing on, then left to join her team. The group consisting of Naruto, Kakashi, Sakura, Sasuke, and Tazuna were along the lines of the Kirigakure border. They were currently just a few miles from entering. Naruto was reading Jump, Sakura was asking out Sasuke, said Uchiha was ignoring and saying no, Kakashi was just being amused, and Tazuna was drinking to clear his head, and suck in the people he was giving as bodyguards. I have some pretty girl who wants to be noticed by Mr. Broody over there. That same kid looks to be too much of a stuck-up, their sensei looks to have only one eye, and the worst of them is the short kid with the spiky blonde hairdo. Sure he carries that scythe around, but I don't think he actually uses it. It's too clean. These were just half of the thoughts plaguing the bridge builder's mind. The team were just on their way to the village, passing a puddle, when Naruto suddenly spoke up. You guys think that we can make it to Kiri if we run? He said, causing confusion to the others. The Jonin shook his head, placing a hand on his, and turning to face him. Now, Naruto. We wouldn't want to leave our client behind now, would we? He said, then gives him a wink, as if he knew something he did. And he must have been right, because Naruto smiled and nodded. And so the team continued, Kakashi falling behind. Then the puddle from before started to rise, and form into two figures. Each one had a metal claw on different arms and chained together, and vanished into thin air. They reappeared in between Kakashi, their chain wrapped around him. This came as a surprise to everyone, especially since the two tore their sensei to shreds of blood and greenage. This frightened all four of them. Who are you? Asked Sasuke, getting into a defending stance. The two ignored him, glaring at Naruto. That kid has a weapon. He might be the most dangerous if we leave him alone. One of them said. The other nodded, as they both ran after Naruto. He was completely frozen in place, as something came into his mind as he lived his final moments. I can't move. Am I so afraid of death that I freeze like this every time? How did I get over this? Flashback. Naruto. You can't dodge these all day if you want to beat me, yelled Tenten, picking up kunai as she scouted around for Naruto. He was hiding behind a tree, breathing hard. I know I can beat her. I can't lose another sparring match to her. Why am I so damn afraid? Because you speak fear every time you fight, she said, appearing out of nowhere. He shot up immediately, falling to the ground and dropping his scythe. Damn it, you shouldn't sneak up on someone like that. I know it's a shinobi's job to do it, but, he stopped, after trying to think of what she said. Wait, what did you say about me when I fight? She sighed, sitting down right beside him. Naruto, whenever you fight, you are afraid of doing something. When you swing your sword, you're afraid to cut someone. When you block an attack, you're afraid of getting cut. And when you try to fight for someone, you're afraid of letting them die. These words stuck in Naruto's mind like glue on paper and wood. He rose up, trying to find a way to change his way of fighting. Is there a way to change that? Yes. Tenten spoke softly. Redirect your purpose of fighting. When you block an attack, you protect yourself from getting hurt. When you protect someone, you make sure they stay alive. And when you fight someone, you kill them before they kill you or your loved one. I fight to fulfill my dream of becoming a great kunoichi like Tsunade. I also want to protect people like you, and my family. What about you? End flashback. That last question rung deep in his head, as he finally came back to Earth. Almost immediately, he jumped both of them, driving his scythe straight into the ground and intersecting with the chain they have. They didn't notice that, just the fact that he abandoned his weapon to run away to a short distance. As the two assassins ran for him, they tripped into each other, smashing their faces with one another. That's when they noticed that the scythe was the thing holding them down. You brat, one of them yelled, detaching the chain so they can both run after him. Naruto smiled, as Sasuke came over them, drop-kicking one in the jaw. This took the other one off guard, leaving Naruto to slam his fist into his face. They both laid on the floor, about to continue, until they saw the Jonin sensei unharmed and right behind them. Good job, boys. I was afraid someone would get hurt, he said, pulling a kunai out and staring at them. Sakura and Sasuke all looked at him, then turned to the mess from before, only seeing a butchered log. Oh, you used the Kawamari jutsu. So who are they? She asked, tying him up to a tree. Naruto was stuck in his own world, thinking about what just happened. My reason to fight. Why do I fight Tenten? He asked himself. Then pictures of a Hokage ceremony appeared in his mind, with him being granted the title. Then another picture came into his mind, one about the pink-skinned brunette who likes weapons. He blushed a bit, but knew what he wanted. My reason to fight is to become Hokage, and... Yo, Naruto, you done staring in space? Said Kakashi, looking at him. Naruto turned around to him, giving off a smile and a shade of red on his face. Oh, I'm just fine. So who are they? Well, these two are Chunin-level ninja assassins who work for a powerful A-class ninja. They call him Momoki Zabuza, the demon of the mist, he said, turning back to the two losers before them. Unknown to them, they were being watched from afar. So, they sent the copy ninja of Konoha, Hitaki Kakashi. I guess it's to be assumed, since that bridge builder needs someone really strong in order to protect him, said a voice. He was staring closely at Kakashi, then begins to leave. There was another set of eyes along with him, but they were staring at Naruto. That boy. His eyes have suffered the same pain as I have. Forget it. I will complete this mission. For our dream. The other voice then joins the taller one. Zabuza-sama, when do we strike? The little one asked. The demon assassin looked down at him. We will fight them in about a week. I have something I need to acquire Haku. And they disappeared. Kakashi was looking into the distance, listening to their conversation. If we pursue them, we would no doubt be outmatched. I best train them for the battle to come. He looks back at his students. But first, we should ask our client why assassins were after us. In a C-class mission as only bodyguards, there is no way ninjas would be after you. Such a case would be an A ranked easily. Care to explain? Tazuna sighs. I guess I'd better come clean. Our village is very poor because a man named Gato has been pumping wave dry. He won't let the bridge be completed because it would simply ruin his shipping business. He hired some mercenaries and missing nins to aid him to stop me. All my village could afford was the payment equal to a C rank mission. I'm sorry, and would understand if you had. Naruto stopped him before he could finish that last sentence. No. We're already here, so I guess we might as well go with it. Besides, I would kill myself if Ten-chan found out I quit a dangerous mission because of a simple mistake in information. Let's move on. He continues towards the village, leaving the others to simply think about what he said. So, I guess he does have a point. Besides, we have already gotten ourselves in more too deep to get out of. Now it is all in disposing of these two. Kakashi said, doing a hand sign for a high-level jutsu. Kaiten, Koryudan no jutsu. He breathed fire towards them, burning them to ashes. As the others looked at him in fear, Sakura and Tazuna, the other left to join Naruto, Sasuke. They continued towards the village hidden in the mist. Upon entering, Tazuna led them towards his den, and they met his daughter and grandson, Tsunami and Inari. While she greeted them nicely, he just scolded them for being dumb enough to accept such a suicidal mission. The next day, the team of Genin and one Jonin were waiting in the thicket of the woods, about to receive their next lesson. Alright, it's time for me to teach you all a training technique to help with chakra control. Tree climbing without hands. They all looked at him with confused looks in their eyes. Kakashi held a seal in his hands, as chakra went into his feet, and he walked up the tree nearest him. He continued until he made it to a high branch. Now, try to do it just like that. Transfer chakra to the soles of your feet. If too little, then you fall. Too much and you break the surface. Now Ike, he said, as the others began to place chakra into their feet. Naruto went up, but only made it up one step before falling on his ass. Sasuke made 4 steps before the wood broke, and he cut the part he stopped at and plopped onto his feet and onto the ground. Sakura on the other hand made it up to the branch. Well, it seems that only one of you is good enough to pass. Too bad, for someone who is trying to kill someone, and another who wishes to become Hokage, I feel disappointed in you guys. Kakashi said, making their blood boil. Naruto and Sasuke continued, each one making a step closer than before. I never said this before, but those two have more potential than Sakura. While she does have the best control at first try, that is because she has the lowest amount of them all. That made it a lot easier for her, thought Kakashi, getting up to leave them to enjoy their training. Sasuke, your chakra may be well at most fearful, easily able to train with but still in the process of maturing. Naruto, while you may need a supreme load of training in order to control your chakra, that is only because you have so much of it. Your chakra is more than Sasuke and Sakura's own amount combined. In fact, you have more chakra in your system than myself and Sasuke's combined. A week later, Zabuza and Haku were inside a dungeon, with a lot of steel weapons and stuff. A man with them was still making a sword for him. He had just cooled it down, and pulled it out from the water. After attaching a broken chain to the end, it was finished. It was a black nodaki. The entire blade was black, as well as the guard and hilt. It was a manji set as the guard, which was kanji for full, and red lines along the hilt. Zabuza took it, tossing aside the large silver one he had on his back. So, what do you think? Gato said you would pay me a lot of money for something like this, said the man, brushing his arms together, hoping for something. What he got was a stab in the face, too quick to be seen or blocked. After removing the blade, he pushes him off, wiping the blood off it. This sword, it's amazing. It's fast, and it looks to be able to stand up to the harshest jutsus. Let's see it work against those bodyguards. Hey. Zabuza then flashes away, heading towards the bridge. Haku sighed, following along. That boy. Why does he remind me of me? Where Naruto is. Naruto just woke up, about to look for his friends and such. He goes to get himself dressed, and heads downstairs. After passing Tsunami, he gets something quick to eat, then rushes to the bridge, forgetting about the eyes that were making their way to the house he left. The bridge. When Naruto made it to the bridge, he finds his team already in combat. He could barely see through ETH mist, but with his chakra-enhanced eyes, he could spot out Kakashi engaged with a duel with some guy with a bandaged face and a black sword. He also sees Sakura protecting Tazuna. Sasuke on the other hand was face to face with some kid, who looks no older than him. He was wearing an Anbu mask, and had long locks of black hair as well. I am pretty sure Kakashi can handle himself. I doubt they could get to Sakura while still fighting, so I think Sasuke would need the most help. He said quietly to himself. Makyo Hyosho, said the kid in the mask, forming large mirrors of ice around him and Sasuke. He entered one of them, and threw needles at Sasuke. Since he couldn't dodge, he was covered with them. Haku then threw some more, forcing him to his knees. The kid was about to finish him off, exiting the mirrors and grabbing a kunai from the ground, when a couple of shuriken flew towards him. He took them, then fell to the ground. Smoke appeared around Sasuke, as he was grabbed and thrown out of the fray towards Tazuna. As the smoke cleared, it is revealed as Naruto comes out, wielding his death scythe. Hello. You must be one of the ones who was watching us at the outskirts of Kirigakure. Normally I would ask you to leave before things got ugly, but in this case I'll make an exception, and beat you down and then I'll ask you to leave. He said. Haku went back into the mirror, appearing in all of them. I see that look in your eyes, and you seem to be holding back pain, torment, and suffering. It is said that those who know suffering have spiritual maturity. I look in your eyes and see more maturity than my own. I would ask you to leave, try to find another purpose in life, but I can't Zabuza-sama's orders. I'm sorry, Haku said, throwing needles at the speed of sound. Naruto couldn't block before they stabbed into his legs. Konohagakure. Tenten was busy sharpening her weapons. She was watching her two teammates fight each other again, when she got a horrible sharp pain in her heart. She grabbed it, as images of Naruto came into her mind. Why do I think of him now? Is he in some sort of trouble? The other two look at her. Hey Tenten. Why do you look so depressed? You never look like that while you play with your toys, said the white-eyed long-haired one. The green-cladded bowl-cut-haired one stared at her. Ten-chan, your flames of youth seem a bit unstable at the most. Is something pertaining your youthful mind? He yelled, forcing an evil look in her eyes towards the green one. I need to go somewhere. I'll be right back, she said, running off to go to the gates of Konoha. There is placed a single kunai knife, and no one around. That Barker, he better not die. I'll miss him too damn much. That will be it for this video. If you want more, comment down below, like, subscribe. And see you guys later.